So, good evening, my dear viewers. Today we're gonna work on some parsing of the MySQL protocol. I've installed a couple of interesting tools in order to dissect what actually happens inside of a client-to-server connection and how do we debug what's happening over there. Actually, there's very nice open source application called Wireshark. It allows you to dissect different protocols and see what's happening inside of them when client and server communicates between each other. Let me just show you what it does. Let me just switch over into the free mode and let me show you. So here is, for instance, the tool I'm using. It's a very interesting one. I just run ATS dump on a Linux server to see what's happening over there, and I just created these two dump files. So one is for MySQL, and it's very interesting. Like, I see this server greeting, then I see MySQL sends a login request, then how they communicate through TLS. So this is an interesting example because here there's no secure, there is a secure encryption. I'm actually not going to implement this one, but I'm just was planning to take a look how it works between MySQL and the actual client, how the communication happens. So it's a very interesting one. So first of all, yeah, the standard MySQL protocol, what we did before is, right, there is a protocol. This starts here. It tells that the length of the data is, yeah, is it the length of the data? No, here it is. So here is the length of the data for A. This is packet length, and it tells the packet number is 0. Then you can go over into the data itself. I think you can even copy it as escaped string, maybe. Let's see if it actually works. If we can apply something into our test file. So let's create, first of all, Handshake parser or Handshake parser, yeah, would be great. Okay, this is it. Also, we're gonna add the test. Oh yeah, I forgot to switch actually into the proper mode for you. Hope now you see it better. Let me take a quick look. Seems good. Okay, so Handshake parser test. So this is going to be our test case. Now let's create the class itself. We'll extend from we'll extend from test case itself. Here we check parses MySQL 8 handshake init message, right? So here we'll see if we can actually paste it in. Wow, that's actually nice. I really like it because, yeah, as I understand, it's cool. Yeah, so here we have an escape string. Very nice, very nice. So this is actually a complete packet sent. Yeah, very good. I really enjoy it. This tool is awesome. I just was trying it, but I didn't see how good it's implemented. So let's see. Can we just do it like this? I think Yeah, I think we can. The only thing that, yeah, I need to add something like yeah, I need to move actually those dots in front. And this is it, right? This is our MySQL packet. Okay, let's go back to Wireshark. Did I enable it? No, I didn't enable it yet. So here we are back into, yeah, let me close OBS. Okay, so here we are back in Wireshark. And here we have server greeting. Starting from, first of all, there's a protocol 0A. Yeah, this is a protocol version. Then the version of the server. This is a null encoded string, as I see. Yeah, here it is. The version of the server looks like that. Can we somehow maybe replace this one with an actual string to make it more readable? Let's see. Here it is. Not. Okay, it's interesting. So here is. Oh no, here it is. So here is the length encoded. A string, so we can actually replace it, I think. Do we have something like this? No, we can't use that one. Okay, can we just extract this part? Copy this printable text. Let's see. Can we copy this one as printable text? Seems like it. Okay, what's gonna be next one? Is the thread ID? It's it's binary. Length encoded integer. So then there goes salt. This is a very interesting one. Okay, so this is binary salt. Okay, good. And then we have extended server compatibilities, server status, server capabilities. Language is unknown. What is the language itself? MySQL server language. Oh, it's MySQL char set. Okay. So server doesn't tell about the character set it has available by default. So it should be good. Server status. The flags that are set for in transaction after commit multi-query and yes, not okay. Let's play around with this a little bit. So first of all, we have a version of the protocol. Then we have some number, right? Then we have a connection ID. It's another. It's the, yeah, I don't. Oh, here it is. So here it is, the connection ID, and then go the rest of the things. result, null characters. Okay, let's go to our favorite MySQL documentation. So here's how it looks like. Here we have a protocol, Handshake. So if it's protocol version 10, it's always 0A, then there is a server version connection ID of plugin data port, capability flags, and then we have the rest of the things. So first ones are the null encoded data. It's a little bit complicated. Let's see what we can do here. Oh, actually, let's open also another one. Let's open a file from Manticore. So Manticore also implements a MySQL server connection protocol. Here it also sends a lot of data. And here it notifies about different authentication method. Here it reports itself as 5.5.2.1 MySQL version. Okay, that's clear. Salt. Another one. Okay, good. Good. I think we can go and just start with this one. Let's just create actually what we're gonna have, we're probably gonna have some kind of frames, right? So let's see. Can we do frame as just an object? Probably we can, right? So let's do that. It's frame. Okay, what will be the frame? So first of all, yeah, it's gonna be definitely a handshake. All right, so the handshake is gonna have property like version of the protocol. Then it's also gonna have a property server version, right? Let's go over it. So here we have, then we have connection ID. Then what we have else is of plugin data part 1. Yeah, it's probably should be the whole thing. So the first 8 bits, what it consists of. First 8 bytes of elf plugin data. Okay. That's the auth plugin data. So the rest of the things is auth plugin name. That is the name of the auth method. That. Oh, do you actually see my screen? Yeah, you see my screen. Okay, good. So then there is the name of the auth method. Let's see. Actually, I think I messed up a little bit my screen. Yeah, I just messed up a little bit the stream size. Sorry, guys and girls. Let's see what I can do next. With this one, yeah, let's fix this area and let's take a look again at this set of capabilities. So there is a filler. Oh, it's just a filler. Okay, it's this one, and then there is capability flags, and only if there is more data, then the rest of the things go on. Okay, so here we have auth plugin data part 1. Probably gonna be something like just a property, right? So it goes. So first of all, auth data. So it's just gonna be a single property. We're not gonna separate it. Then we're gonna have capabilities. Capability flag, or just capabilities, more than enough. And then what we have else here is other stuff. Okay, then there is for secure connection and plugin auth, there is other stuff going on. And then client plugin auth. Okay, so the auth plugin data part 2 is gonna be concatenated to original one, so we don't create a property for that one, but we're gonna create probably character set. Yeah, so public char set. Then what else is gonna be there? Also, it's gonna be status flags, and status flags are just not gonna be there. So status just gonna be also an integer, so we just will set it to 0 if they're not present. That's good. Then we have capabilities flags 2. It's the second part of the capabilities. We will merge it together, and then the auth plugin name is the actual null encoded string. So let's put it here as auth plugin as a property. So this is our handshake. I think it should be more than enough. Do we have anything else? I think nothing more. So it's pretty straightforward. And let's see what's going on there. Okay. Okay, let's implement then this one. Let's see. We have this handshake, class in. So now we can implement a parser that will take this data and it will create for us this Handshake instance itself. I'm thinking about what we actually can do. So for now we just keep all the properties public. I don't see yet a way how can we encapsulate behavior of this object. As soon as we have more and more as soon as we have more stuff that is needed for extraction, or probably we can just separate it, right? We can just check what are capabilities. We can create a method for that one. We can create a method for character set. Yeah, I think it's more or less even possible actually to test this one. Okay. Version of the server. Now, I actually don't want to write a test for getters. It's a little bit wrong thing to do. Let's see what we can do with this one. Let's see, capabilities, Shark set, data south plugin. Okay, let's write actually some kind of factory for this one, because we need to create this frame for our tests. Let's maybe create a static method, create v10, because it's v10 option, with property like, oh, just create maybe we can just have something like regular protocol version itself. We can pass it as an argument. We can have a server version, connection ID, these parts. Yeah, not much of the things actually needed there. Status flags, probably something that we need, and I think that's all what we really need, right? Yeah, okay. So let's switch to the coding mode. And now we go over to creating something like probably we just need to create a constructor. I think it's the best way to do it. But yeah, also I don't like creating a constructor. It looks a little bit iffy. Can we somehow make it better and easily instantiatable and make it a very nice object to test against without, you know, like setting all this data up front? It looks a little bit complicated, but yeah. Okay, let's not focus too much on that part. Let's just start creating and writing tests. So first of all, we'll have a private function here, create handshake frame, let's say v10 with a server version. Then we have connection ID, and what we also have, auth data, and what we also have is capabilities, right? Capabilities here also, yeah, it looks it looks like there was a typo. So server version, connection, the updated capabilities. What else? Char set and status. Char set status. Yeah, I really don't like this line. I just can't resist. I can't resist to create Handshake builder. And the Handshake builder will have own set of tests, because yeah, I just need to have an easy way to test this mess with a number of configuration options that are returned back from MySQL. So let's create a test case for Handshake builder. And it's actually gonna be a test, right? So we need to rename it. Okay. Okay, Handshake builder test. And now we need to extend from test case, of course. And then we will write a spec. The first spec for this Handshake builder is gonna be create a simple create Handshake with minimal data. So I'm just gonna check how it's gonna look like. So we have the minimal data is actually everything before this one. So it should be protocol version, server version, connection ID, auth plugin, and capability flags. So this is actually the minimum that we need to have. So we will create new Handshake. So we're gonna assert that our builder will create for us a Handshake. Let's also set up a builder itself that we're gonna use in our test case. So private builder, and it's gonna be an instance of Handshake builder. And actually I need to create a folder here to keep the same logic with the names, and it's gonna be in a frame namespace. So this is actually redundant now. Let's see how it goes. Okay, now we're gonna create this new Handshake builder instance here, and here we're gonna validate that creating a new handshake with some minimal data. So minimal data is going to be, first of all, 10 is a protocol number, right? So this is v10. And actually, we are not gonna support different versions of the handshakes. Actually, we don't need this protocol version, it's just redundant. We just create, we just rename this one to handshake v10. And here we're gonna rename this one to handshake v10 builder. So as you see, we will have a concrete class for a specific version of the protocol, because we definitely want to separate these ones. So handshake builder version 10. So okay, so handshake v10. Then what we have here, so we create a new handshake with 10 without this one. Then if we pass there a version of the server, right, as the first instance, right, and then should be just, yeah, this all should be by default, I think, 0, and this just should be an empty string. And now we can just create a public function with can I generate a constructor here? I think so. Generate constructor, and we're gonna pass by default right now something like server version, connection ID, of data, capabilities, and character set. Okay, here we're gonna specify that those arguments actually have some types. So the server version is just a string, connection ID is going to be an integer, the of data is going to be a string, and capabilities is going to be an integer too. What else don't we have? We have probably, yeah, this one, let's just move them as an optional arguments in constructor, just not to rely on default values and properties. So let's set here also int char set will be 0, then int status gonna be also 0, and int actually string of plugin gonna be the empty string value. This char set this status equals status, and this of plugin equals of plugin. As you see, I actually don't write test first before actually testing this assignment, because it doesn't make any sense. It just constructor that instantiates an object with these properties. Where it's going to be actually tested is the behavior of the builder, where we're gonna create different options over there. So let's say we're gonna pass some version 5.1, we're gonna pass some other things like connection ID, let's make it 10, let's also create other stuff. Also the of data is let's keep it 8 bytes. So what is by default was sent over there. Let's switch to this view. So by default it sends some data like this. Let's just copy it as escaped string. And we see it just how much data there is. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And yeah, let's see. Salt. Show as hex. Okay. And why do I receive this one? 0 in the end. It just should be only 8 characters. It shouldn't contain 0. So 0 is actually not something that we expect there. So we just expect something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, what are the capabilities? Capabilities is the number. We have already some capability flags and what are the default capabilities that are returned if we have the default one sent, connect with database, and speaks 4.1 protocol. So this is this flag here. So we'll just test for that flag only. We're not gonna test for other stuff, and let's just see how can we build this one. So first of all, yeah, we will use our builder with server version, right? And here we'll specify 5.5.1. Then we also will have something like with connection ID, and it's gonna be 10, and we're gonna have with of data is gonna be this amazing string. And we're gonna also create with capabilities, right? So it's gonna be capability flags client protocol 4.1. So this should be it, right? It should just create for us this new object. Let's see. Can we run a test now? Okay, it quit because here I have some unfinished work. Yeah, let's just remove this one. Okay. Create handshake with minimal data. It doesn't work because we don't have this method. So we're gonna create another one. We're gonna return here, of course, self, right? Because we're gonna return a new instance of version of the builder with a property name there. So here we're gonna specify, yeah, first of all we're gonna clone this builder server version, gonna be this version, and we're gonna return back this builder itself. And oh, actually I'll just actually return this. We're not too much into the code itself. Let's see. Called and define it with connection ID. Okay, let's go back to the test and let's create another method. Maybe we should rename it. It's probably ID is good. Probably we can actually combine it. Maybe we can just create a method here that won't be called with server version, maybe just with I don't know, maybe we should call it let's see what we have here with server version. Okay, so here it's just a server version itself, then we have a connection ID, so maybe we can combine it somehow under one method. And this one method we can call with server yeah, let's call it with server info. So here we'll have server version and connection ID, then the capabilities of data. So these ones we can leave out as a separate methods because they make sense as separate methods, but with server info it looks a little bit too much of the methods on the builder. So here it's gonna be server version, client ID, let's call it like this. Let's remove it and let's just return this. Let's see where it fails. Oh, actually I see that Daniel is asking, the doc says that null is a filler. I'm assuming they were using null terminated char array in C. No, this is not the case, because it is a problem with implementation of the Wireshark. Let me just show you. I think it should be F1. Yeah, so you should see now my screen, I think. Okay, so you see my screen, and here in the documentation, the filler is just tells that there is a null binary character, and it tells that the string is always a length of 8 for our plugin data part 1. And for the rest of the things, there is just other stuff that might be set. If there is more data than this first 6 parts of the frame, then there is character set present, there is status present, there is capability flags, the upper 2 bytes present, and so on. So this is not much of the things. Also, you see here, for instance, the string 10, and then they say that it's reserved, and there is always, all of them are just null character. And where is present a null encoded string, there is a direct information in documentation where they just say, hey, it's string with null termination. So this is where this null terminated char array is used. Here it's just always 8 characters. Okay, so let's go back into the code. So the server info is looking like that. Then we create another method, right? We create a method like without data. We're also gonna, oh, not here, not on this instance. Why it's showing me nothing on a builder class? Why it's adding it into my test case? I don't understand. It's crazy. Okay, let's add a type hint here in the end that it's self, so at least it knows that. Yeah, now it's adding it into the right place. So we again returning this, and then we're gonna return self here as well, and here's just gonna be a combined of data from MySQL handshake message. Let's see. Can we run it? Okay, so call to undefined method with capabilities. Okay, so now we go back into the test and we create another instance of this method with capabilities. This is just gonna be flags. It's also gonna return self, and we also return this. Does it run? Undefined method built. Okay, it's already good. So now we're just gonna create this method build, and this one actually gonna return us handshake version 10, and I'm gonna just return new handshake version 10 without anything, just to see how it fails. Okay, the 0 arguments are passed. Let's just fill in some dummy data. Okay, now we receive some failure. I see there is correct errors are shown, so it's good. Now we can actually start implementing it. So now we can store this server version into server version variable, and this client ID into client ID property. Let's right away create for these properties a new fields in a class. Yeah, let's add this one here as well. Actually, I don't like this one. I just need to make sure that I create a new builder. That is a clone of this, and I assign it here because I don't like to mutate current objects where I create builders, because method chaining is an evil for for mutable classes. So this one create some kind of immutable API. Let's see how it goes. And let's populate this one here, this server version and this connection client ID. Yeah. Let's go over it. Let's see what's the difference here. Okay, so now the server version and connection ID are properly set. Now we can go over to the auth data and implement this part. Let's also create builder, clone this, and then return back builder itself, and then we will set builder and we will set a property unit called auth data, and it's gonna be an auth data itself. Okay, let's create a property right away. And let's pass this one here. Let's see. Okay, the auth data is properly set. Now it's time for capabilities, and here as well, builder, clone this builder, set capabilities, and return an instance of builder. And here we'll set this capabilities. Oh yeah, I didn't create a property yet, so let's create this one. Okay, now it's green. Okay, we can go and create another test. What I also want to do, I want to create maybe yeah, so now I need to create the character set, right? And I need also to create a plugin, an authentication plugin itself as well. So let's see, do I have enough plugin here? Yeah, I have it as an argument. So I need to create now character set, status, and auth plugin. So what kind of functionality can we add there? So yeah, let's add the builder. Into the builder we want to create also something like creates a handshake with server status. Is server status always sent? I think so, together with character set. So character set and server status are always set. So let's put it here. Creates handshake with server status and char set. And yeah, I'll just continue with that one. So builder with char set, or actually if it's there then it should be always there. So we just can create a method that will add those capability flags together. Okay. Yeah, it looks a little bit not a good approach, but I cannot change anything about the structure of this data. We need somehow to make sure that we have a complete frame in one single message being sent to our connection handler in the future. So we have Handshake version 10, connection ID capabilities. Yeah, okay, let's just do it. Let's just this assert equals so new Handshake version 10. We'll create a version 1.00 with connection ID of 1 with other stuff with of data of yeah, let's just put some string data there, like this is string data. I just put it like that. Then the capabilities should be the list of flags. Let's just leave capabilities as 0, and also we're gonna add now character set status flags. Okay, so now we're gonna do char set as, let's say, 16 as far as I remember. Let's switch back to the view with our documentation. As far as I remember, the functionality of it's in overview. Yeah, so in overview there is a character set, and there is some common character sets that are used. So here we have a character set like UTF-8 is 33. Let's set this 33 as a character set. Maybe we can just create here also a class that will have list of char sets, char set identifiers. Let's just create public const of UTF-8 here, right? What is the most common one? UTF-8. This is 33, and also I think there's Latin one, this one. It's gonna be number 8. And here's also, let's add this one, the most nice one that supports all the multi-bytes with emojis and Japanese characters and so on. So it should be UTF-MB4. So UTF-8-MB4. It's gonna be 255. So in future probably it's gonna grow into bigger set of constants, but we're not gonna have a list because it's actually hard-coded list of characters in MySQL codebase, so there is no need to somehow abstract it away. So here we'll specify that it will be a character identifiers UTF-8, and then we're gonna have a status, and here is gonna be status flags, let's say after commit. So let's say we notify that server tells us that it's by default in after commit phase. Okay, here then we go on and implement another one. Is have plugin. We don't need to specify it because we didn't yet create a method for it. So let's create builder with server info that is equal to 1.0.0 and connection ID is 1, right? So it's connection ID 1, and now we also provide the auth data the same value as here, and then we also provide with char set, and here we specify char set identifiers UTF-8 and we specify with status, and here is going to be status flags, status after commit, and here we just build in the end an object, and we validate that those two are actually matching. So let's see. Can I go over it and see what's happening there? So okay, so here it tells that with char set the method is missing, so let's create this method, and here we'll return self. It's gonna be char set ID. Okay, here's we're gonna return back this for now. Let's see, at least it shouldn't error out. Okay, now it's with status, so now let's create with status, and it's also int status self. Okay. What do we have here? We have no return value, so that's why it's complaining. Okay, let's see the real error message. Yeah, okay, it tells us that something is not provided. Oh, so we actually have something not provided, something like integer, and which parameter? Argument number 4. So yeah, capabilities, yeah, it expects by default that the capabilities are set, so let's just set them to 0. I didn't call this method, so it's good thing that test actually found this issue, and this test actually covers this test scenario. Okay, the rest of the things are just now failures of missing values, so let's just implement that one. Builder clone this builder this char set, right? Char set. Let's create a field. Let's actually move it up. Now when it's moved up, we can also move this one. On Mac, I can just do it with just easier combination. So okay, here it's a little bit different on Windows. I have to do it line by line. A little bit inconvenient, but it's okay. Now let's see, we have here another failure. It tells us, yeah, it's still, I still don't pass the character set as an argument. Somehow I switched language while I was typing. Okay, so let's go back this char set. Okay, now the first test fails because, yeah, we don't have char set by default as well. Okay, now it tells us that the status is not equal. So let's add the status builder clone this. Let's return back the builder. Let's maybe actually this one is a good indication of the server status, but yeah, they still can be called separately. So okay, with status, then we create a new property, of course, and we need to pass it as an argument. Okay, the previous test actually fails because I don't have a default value specified for this one. Okay, now both tests green, so now I can go over and create another test case. And here we're gonna create a test case for of plugin, right? Creates Handshake with of plugin specified, right? So here now we can just copy paste all this stuff. We're gonna remove this one and we're just gonna specify 00, and then we have to specify the of plugin, and we'll specify here MySQL. Yeah, let's look it up. Let's switch to the view here. So let's use something like native password, copy as printable text. Okay, so this is the of plugin that is used by Manticore, and the MySQL version 5.7 already requires SSH. Actually, I think it's even more interesting one. Let's see if we open MySQL information. So let's see what server greeting from MySQL. It sends us an of plugin as caching SHA-2 password. Okay, so here is the one that is used. Okay. Failed asserting that two objects are equal. What's okay? So I still don't specify a plugin. Yeah, let's switch back to the code mode. And let's see. Yeah, so all those should be 0, so I can just remove them. The auth data just should be there. And now we're just gonna create with auth plugin, and we're gonna specify MySQL native password. As an argument, and it complains that there is no such a method. It's understandable because I didn't create it. So let's create this method, and it's also gonna return us self. We're gonna move this method up, and it's gonna be our plugin name. Okay, this should be good. Okay, this is gonna be a builder clone this, and here we're just gonna return builder. So now it should just fail, right? Yeah, so it just fails with unset data, and here we'll set builder of plugin equals of plugin. Let's create a property and let's pass it here. Okay, so now the other tests fail. It's good sign that our test cases are catching this kind of unexpected scenarios. So okay, now we fixed all of them. We have 3 test cases. That is more than enough because it's 3 different ways how we're gonna create this one. So we either can have full set of with our plugin status, char set, and so on, or we can have just char set and status specified but no auth plugin, or we can have stuff being specified as just capabilities of data, client ID, and server version. So it can be 3 different sets of data provided for us. Okay, now we can just finally implement something here. So let's create here. Yeah, let's create first of all an instance of frame builder. And here we'll have something like setup, in which we're gonna set up this frame builder into this frame handshake with then builder itself. So this is the object that gonna be used as an assertion for us, and here we're gonna set up a first assert equals. Finally we got to the parser. So here the frame builder with server. Yeah, let's stop this after test. So here we'll set something like with, oh, I didn't specify a type of the parameter here. Okay, let's do it here. Handshake with and builder. Okay, good. Here we can specify with server info. The server info is going to be the server version 8.0.16. What is the connection number? Is D. D is A is 10, B is 11, C is 13, and D is 14. I think it should be 14, right? The client ID. Let's check in Wireshark. So here it was specified. Yeah, it's 13, not 14. Okay, 13. is the client ID. Then we have a salt, it's our auth data. So then we need to specify our auth data itself. Let's specify it here. So the first part, we're gonna copy it as escape string, I think. So, and it should be without this null character in the end. And then we should have another part of the auth data. Here it is, that we need actually to concatenate again. And here we just merge those two values together. And seems like again this value is a little bit wrong from point of view of this Wireshark, because Wireshark, it just tells us about the structure of the packet with some helpers, but it doesn't show us how it looks like in a real case. Okay, so then it's length encoder string, so probably the null is still there, because then, yeah, so this null character is, actually it shouldn't be there then. Yeah, let's see what's inside of this length of auth plugin. So we have capability flags. Let's open Wireshark. Let's see. So 21 character. So it should be 21 character long. Let's see how much the string is in length. Okay. So here I know that, for instance, the first part should be always 8 characters long. So this one 63. So this is 8 characters, and the rest, according to the information, 21, it should be 13 characters long, the rest of the data. The rest of the data should be 13. Let's see. It's 10, now it's 5. And yeah, so null is a part of the message. So cool. This is, at least this one is correct. Then what we have here, oh, actually it should be on a separate method call with auth data. And here now we're gonna specify with auth plugin. Okay, so now it should be authentication plugin caching SHA-2 password. Okay. So this is our authentication plugin that should be specified. Let's copy it over. Oh, sorry, not this one. Let's copy it as printable text. Huh? I didn't copy it? Okay. Let's do it one more time. Copy as printable text. Let's do that. Okay, so now it's proper. Caching plug shade to password. Okay, so proper of plugin, and now we can specify the status. So in status, it's only returned as that it has after commit turned on. So we can specify it here with status server status. What's it? Oh, it's server flags, I think. Yeah. Oh, it's status flags. Okay, status flags after commit. So this is our status flags. We also can specify that with language. So the language is 255. It should be actually a nice character set that supports all multi-bytes UTF character types. So let's specify here char set identifiers. It should be this one, UTF-8 MB4, and it should also verify that the extended capabilities. Yeah, it's a little bit complex to specify all of them, but yeah, we can do it. Let's copy actually as hex. Yeah, as escaped string is good as well, because then I can just paste it like this. So it can be, this is actually upper bytes, right? Upper bytes. Yeah, so this is a set of upper bytes, and now we also need to grab the set of lower bytes. So lower ones are all set as well, so it just should be F. So it should be something like this. So this should be our capabilities. This is yeah, I think it's a little bit hard to read. But yeah, I just probably don't have all the capability flags to put it there. Let's see. And so let's check our capability flags class. Do we have all of them here? I remember I was excluding some of the capability flags that I don't use, like for instance client can handle expired passwords. I think I intentionally removed that one because yeah, handling of expired password should not be done through this library. Yeah, but let's add it because it is required by the default implementation. Yeah, but probably I can just remove this one. Let's see. Yeah, it's better just to put a raw value there, because it's gonna be a little bit hard to test all the variations of the flags. We just expect that it's gonna be a 64-bit integer. Actually, it's a very long one, I think. Yeah. Oh, it should be. C3FF. Yeah, but this doesn't look like it. Just a moment. I'm just trying to understand what's going on here. So here we have oh yeah, it's definitely the other way around. So it should be C3FF, because it's little endian. Oh, actually it should be like this, because this is a big endian representation of this number. It's a little bit big one, but yeah, actually let's check if PHP actually treats it as integer, or it still treats it as, or it's already treats it as a float value. Okay, it's still an integer. It's a big one, but still an integer, so it's good. So this should be our capabilities. Okay. I think I have too much of F here. Probably yes, too much. Let's see. Yeah, it just should be 4 times. It's a little bit too big number. Okay, FF, FF. It just should be this one. Yeah, this is the correct number. I was putting a little bit too much of F in the end. Let's see. Can we now finally run it? Okay, so first of all we need to build this one. So this is our expectation. We expect that it will turn as a server version, followed by the client ID of number 13, then with the status, server status of the commit, then UTF-8 multi-byte 4 character set, capabilities like this, of data like that, of plugin like this. So this is all the data that needs to be parsed. Here we're actually just gonna pass this data into our parser. Actually, it's gonna be Handshake parser, right? And this Handshake parser we need probably also to create a factory for this one, because it will use internally this builder in order to create for us frames. But also we have this packet reader as well, right? That we need to supply as a value. So yeah, a little bit hard to instantiate, I think. Let's see, what is a possible relation between these objects? So we have already the packet reader that has this append method and read payload itself. So this handshake parser should use this read payload itself. We need actually to call it with this reader. So probably we have to create a packet reader itself. Okay, so here is a packet reader. Let's add it as a field. I'm just gonna specify that it's an instance of packet reader interface. And here also we will have this parser. Yeah, I have an alarm outside of the office. Someone probably hit the car. Luckily my car is too far away from my office building. Okay, someone finally turned it off. Okay, it's good. So here we have the parser instance. The parser should be actually self-contained. Now let's pass into this one the frame builder itself. And here we're just gonna add to this packet reader. We're just gonna append some data, but probably, yeah, why actually I was creating this data itself is in order to be able to not specify the whole data format, but apparently we actually need to specify also the length of the packet before we actually specify a packet itself. Let's see. So we have to copy these bytes as escaped string. So we need to copy, oh no, oh, a lot of them. Okay, let's just copy this packet length as escape string. And it's also sequence number 0. So okay, this is the information about our packet length. So okay, this one looks good. We go over here, and we also want to just execute read payload with this parser itself. So we expect that our parser will be passed as an argument here into this payload. And it will execute itself with help of our packet reader. And then we also actually gonna specify that the parser or the handshake that's gonna receive messages from this parser is gonna be our test case. And here we're just gonna probably can just specify something like anonymous function here that will send us back this handshake v2 instance. And yeah, so handshake v10 is actually just a frame. Maybe we also can add some kind of an interface over it. Yeah, it's a little bit redundant for now. We will deal with it later. Okay, so let's use parser. This frames. We'll just add handshake to the frame that is received from our parser, and we'll just specify it here. Actually, let's make it an array of frames, so it will be easier to compare against. And here we'll specify that it's gonna be an array of handshakes. Okay, so here we expect that this frames, actually current from the frames, will be equal to this frame builder instance. Yeah, finally we got to the complete test. We don't have yet any class, of course. So if we run our test, it just will silently fail. MySQL protocol handshake parser is not found. Yes, because I didn't create this class. So let's now make it compile. Let's create this class. It's gonna be in src directory. And yeah, let's clean up the code. Then yeah, it's not gonna be a closure, it's gonna be callable, and it's gonna be frame receiver. So okay, this one is Done. Now let's initialize fields. And we're gonna implement this invoke with frame packet payload reader as an argument. Okay, let's see what it tells us. False, does not match expected type of object. Yes. Okay. Where does false come from? Oh, because the frames are empty. Okay. Let's take a look at this one. Let's go to our Handshake parser. And then we're just gonna invoke this frame builder with, let's say, server info, and this reader read fixed integer 1. So we expect that it's protocol version. Probably just give it like this, and then we're gonna use reader read null terminated string, as far as I remember. It's a server version, correct? And then yeah, so here is our frame. Then reader read what is it? It's connection ID. It's the integer of the 4 bytes long. So read fixed integer of 4 bytes. Let's go back. Then it's an ALF plugin. It's okay. So for now, this is this part. Then yeah, so here we have frame builder. Then we have frame builder. With what information next? Next goes ALF plugin part. Okay, so this is ALF data. So we take reader read fixed string of 4. Then reader just goes further into filler, so we skip and read. Can we? No, we cannot advance. Read fixed string of 1. Then we have now the lower 2 bytes of capabilities. So capabilities as reader read fixed integer of 2 bytes. This is the lower part. And then we have character set of 1. So we have char set. Actually, with this one we can already invoke frame builder reader. Okay, with char set reader read fixed integer. It's 1 byte as far as I remember. Yeah, the character set is 1 byte. It's actually a limitation of MySQL. You cannot have more than 255 character sets. That's why they put UTF-8 multi-byte as 255, like it's the limit. And then we have status flags. It's 2 bytes long. So here we actually can just add with status, also reader read fixed integer of 2. Then what we have here, we have of plugin data length, so it's also the length of the capability flags, and then the length of the of plugin. It's always probably present. Yeah. Of data. Yeah, let's say total all data length is gonna be this reader, this frame receiver. Yeah. Well, actually, it's our reader read fixed integer of 1. So it's gonna be a length of data. And then of plugin name. Of plugin but it's not specified right away. It has a couple of checks that we have to do before we actually can acquire it. So let's see. First of all, we can at least return this part of the data already. And here, yeah, we do read all this data first. Yeah, so capabilities, we have it set here, and then capabilities are right after the status flag. So here we have also the second part of capabilities. So it's capabilities plus, actually we just can, I think, add a value of reader read fixed integer of, again, 2 bytes, but this time we actually need to shift bytes by 16. So this one should add it. Actually, this one should move it to the bytes of the first part of capabilities in 4-byte integer. Then total of data length, this is gonna be in capabilities. Okay, so we need to check for capabilities, but we know it's there. So for now we just read it. Then it's 10 digits. After that, reader read a fixed string of 10. We just ignore those 10 characters and then into of data we're gonna read fixed string that we're gonna append into our auth data of the length of the total auth data length minus 8. Okay, then we have client plugin of, it should be a null encoded string. Okay, so this should be good, and here we actually can already add into our frame builder with of data frame builder. And here actually we can add with we will add it later. So here frame builder with our plugin of our plugin itself, and we're gonna return it back. Actually, we have to call this frame receiver with a build frame in end. Let's run a test. Oh yeah, because it should be like this, because it's a property, needs to be wrapped like that. Okay, failed to that, asserting that two objects are equal. Nice. At least the auth data is actually returned more or less as expected, but a little bit too much data, I think. Yeah, it reads a little bit too much data from there, and capabilities are not correctly read. Okay, it tells us something about it. Oh yeah, because I didn't actually specify capabilities into our frame builder. So here frame builder with capabilities, capabilities itself. It's a little bit hard to follow right now, but we can refactor it at a later stage to a better code structure. Let's see. Okay, capabilities are not correct. Somewhere some bytes are not properly defined. So it's somewhere here in status and character set. Let's see. Capability flags are lower 2 bytes. Okay, this is good. This one is 1 character. So everything is good, like the version is good, the connection ID is good, the auth data is good only till some values. So auth plugin data part 1, let's see. Oh, here it is. Okay, it should be 8, not 4. Okay, let's run it again. Okay, the auth data is now correct. The char set is correct. Status is correct. The only thing that is not correct is the number. Yeah, so this is actually all F, 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 F. So this is F and this is F. But this is different. This is different. Yeah, so I actually messed up with this definition here in my test, I think. Let's take a look at the test data. What did I specify here? Yeah, it should be not this one, it should be this part. Yeah, so now our test is finally green. Yeah, we have a first test for a parser that parses the binary data that I captured with Wireshark. So yeah, good. So here we have packet that was sent by MySQL. We successfully parsed it into workable data structure. And I'm pretty much happy with this so far. So now we have a Handshake parser, and we probably can add more to it later on. Yeah, good. Also, what we can do, we can as well move this binary data into data provider and create more variations of MySQL handshake message. Okay, good. Good. We have this one done, implemented. Let me just commit this one. It's already quite late. I need to go home and do my family related activities. So thanks everyone who attended the stream. It was a little bit of trial and error today. We didn't do much of the tests. Mostly I was trying to navigate through documentation, but I hope you still like it. So till the next time, so have a nice Monday evening, everyone. And hi Paul, as I see you're late to the party again. So bye everyone. Bye.